Hi there, Alicia here, and I want to say welcome to my channel where I talk about all things boudoir, books, and being 40 and single and enjoying life. And today I want to talk to you about boudoir, and I want to give you three things that I need you to think about, okay, when you decide that you are ready for your boudoir experience. Let's get into number one. First thing I need you to identify is your budget. What is the budget that you are willing to pay to have not only the boudoir session itself, but also your products? Now, I want to be clear because some people, when they ask boudoir photographers for their pricing, they forget that boudoir photography is a luxury service. And by luxury, I mean that you can spend five figures on a boudoir experience. And because of that, it should be taken very seriously because this, to me, boudoir is a legacy item, right? All right, stick with me. So, when you're thinking about a boudoir experience, I want you to keep some things in mind. When it comes to your budget, you should budget for the session fee, which is the fee that you would pay the fee that you will pay for some photographers. And that includes your hair, your makeup, the photographer's time. All that can be one fee. And then the second fee, which is for collections, packages, things like that, will include your albums, will include if you're getting a calendar, if you're getting wall art, like all those things will be a separate price. So you get to choose what you want for your products. And then those two prices combined will give you the full amount. Now, some photographers will charge you taxes on top of that, some won't. But just keep in mind that you could be paying $3,000 or more for a luxury boudoir experience with a professional experienced photographer. And I want to say sometimes that is shocking to people because they're like, well, I just thought that, the session fee was going to be this amount and that was it. And I was going to get my pictures. No. So I want you to be aware so you don't get sticker shock when you are dealing with experienced business professionals that they are going to charge their worth for their work, their time, as well as the products that you are going to be receiving. So I want you to be very clear on this is my budget and I'm sticking to it for my photography images. And I also want to be clear that you should have in your mind what you want your products to be so you can add that into whatever, the package pricing and things like that are. So I'm going to say, as a person who runs a community of almost 400 photographers, the prices do range. But as you get to work with the more experienced photographers, you are going to be paying $2,000 or more for a phenomenal experience that you are going to love and want to go back every time, every year, for your birthday, for your partner's birthday, for anniversaries, just because. So be very aware of what your budget is. Number two, now that you have your budget, okay, I need you to think about what style is it that you want for your boudoir experience. Do you want something that is super sexy stylized? Do you want something that is light and airy and soft and, frilly and feminine? Do you want something that is whimsical? I want you to have exactly what you want. And so, because you're spending so much money, again, we say close to five figures on a boudoir experience, I want you to have what you want. So it's important that you know the style that you want for your photographer to have, because when you go into that session, you can't ask them to change up and say, oh, I really wanted something that was soft and light, knowing that they shoot very dark and moody. Those two things don't work. So choosing a style and finding a photographer that works within that style is going to be your best bet once you know your budget. Number three is so important. Okay. Check their portfolios and not just the website. So the website will show you, like, yes, the best of the best. And some photographers don't really change their websites that often, but go onto their Instagrams, go onto their Facebooks, go onto their TikToks, like go into the places where they update things, quite frequently, because that will show you if you're going to see work reflected with someone who looks like you. That is important. When you look at my portfolio, you know that I center the stories and the celebrations of Black women. and Black people, Black femmes. And that's very clear in my portfolio. That's very clear on my website. That's very clear on my Instagram pages. Like anywhere that I have social media and I'm talking about my work, I am very clear on I center the narrative of Black women are beautiful, are sexy, and pleasure is their birthright. And so I stand in that space for them to do all of those things. You need to know who your for a photographer is. Ooh, I'm getting tongue tied. You need to know who your photographer is and if they have captured anyone who looks like you. That's going to be important because that will then inform you on, hey, when I go to them, if they offer hair and makeup, is their hair and makeup artist going to know how to do my hair and makeup? Because if I don't see anyone in their portfolio on their social media who looks like me, will my hair come out the way I want it to? Will my makeup look the way I want it to? And that's going to be important as well. And let me give you a little secret here, okay? Photographers have something called presets. Presets are a lifesaver because they speed up our retouching process. But sometimes, not all the time, but the majority of the time, let me say this, presets are not made for everybody. Certain presets, if you only capture, I'm trying to change my language around that. If you only capture a certain type of skin tone, then the presets are really going to be focused on lighter, brighter skin tones. So it's important that you know, like, hey, if I go through this portfolio from this photographer, are they going to be able to capture me in the way that I want to? Because they've done this before. And is their makeup artist, is their hairstylist going to be able to give me the looks that I want based on what I see in their portfolio? That is going to be important. I hope that these three things get you in the mind of when I'm thinking about maybe doing a boudoir session. These are like the top three things that I really need to think about that allow me to have like a really good experience with any photographer that I choose to go to. As always, if you have any questions about boudoir, please feel free to drop them because I'm always an open book. As I said, I have a community that I run for Black boudoir photographers. We have almost 400 photographers in that group, and it's important for me to educate the masses on what boudoir is, why boudoir is perfect for Black women and Black femmes, because it helps us to change the narrative of what we want and what we want people to view us as. And then also, it's just a good ass time. Like it helps you to be brave. It helps you to feel to be connected to your body in ways like you don't even imagine that you were not before. And so boudoir is for everybody. I really truly believe that. As always, you are your longest and most expensive relationship. Any money or time that you spend on being your favorite version of yourself and in a boudoir experience is never money or time wasted. And if you've done a boudoir experience before, please let me know in the comments. Like I would be interested to see and to hear, to read what you loved about it. And if you have not already done a boudoir experience, what's holding you back? I think that's also important. And as always, I will see you next time.